Good morning and thank you so much for joining us. It's the Wednesday 12, 2025 March. And of course, this is TMI coming to you live from our Lagos Network studios right here in Lagos. Of course, today on the show, we will be looking at the defection of former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasser El-Rufai. And of course, as you know, his defection has really met with various discussions and reactions across political divide. But some say what is so spectacular about the defection of the former governor, Nasser El-Rufai. Now, here is this. Nigeria's democracy has witnessed series of indiscriminate political defection, with politicians crisscrossing from one political party to another. Ex-governor of Kaduna State, Nasser El-Rufai, is in the news again, this time over a defection from the ruling All Progressive Congress to the SDP. The prominent politician cited a growing misalignment between his personal values and the current direction of the APC as the primary reason for his defection. El-Rufai disclosed this in a press statement released on his X handle on Monday, where he expressed his disappointment with the APC's leadership, accusing the party of straying from the progressive ideals of its founding members. Now the question is, what exactly is the progressive or are the progressive ideals that the former governor is alluding to? To have this conversation with me, I am joined by Mr. Ife Salako, who is a social affairs analyst, and of course is joining us virtually from Alemosho, Lagos State. Good morning, Mr. Ife, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, and of course I have right here in the studio is Mr. Eniola Daniel. He's also a social commentator. Good morning, Mr. Daniel, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, so now let's get into the conversation. You heard my monologue, and of course, it is in the know that normally the average Nigerian politician has this idea of crisscrossing or cross-carpeting, especially when it does not in any way align with their ideas. Now, tell me, what exactly is so spectacular about the former governor in the person of Nasser El-Rufai, which has met with various reactions from across various political divide?
Well, El-Rufai is still a leader, and he also will remain a leader, maybe, and will also remain relevant, maybe in the next 20 years.
Really?
Yes, El-Rufai will still
what makes you think so?
Remain relevant, because El-Rufai also have his own leadership styles, which also controls a crowd. He was, as a former minister of FCT, before becoming the governor of Kaduna State, his words carried a lot of weight, so to say. So he has his crowd. After his defection, another person also left the APC. A woman leader also left the APC. So it's a significant figure when it comes to a political party in Nigeria. So I don't think anybody will want to say, no, it doesn't matter. Anybody who wants to doubt the effectiveness of El-Rufai, I think the person may just be deceiving himself or herself. So it's very, very significant. He's a very, very important figure when it comes to Nigeria politics as of today, 2025.
Is it so possible for an individual who has become a founding member of a particular structure to decide that he is departing from that particular structure? Is it really possible?
Well, it is. Nothing is impossible, and in politics you have permanent interest, not permanent enemy. No enemy is permanent. No friends, no friendship that is permanent when it comes to politics. It is very possible. Well, did El-Rufai nurture the idea of APC? No, he didn't nurture the idea of APC coming to life. But he was instrumental to APC coming to life, becoming a political party to rival the former ruling party, PDP. So it is possible to really deviate. But look at Nigerians' politician character. Do we really have character? The Nigerian politicians are just like Arsenal have been playing for a very long time that cannot win. So they can't stay in a party for so long. Give it to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We may not be doing fantastically well when it comes to Nigeria today, but you've seen him. He has remained in a political party for a very long time. ACN transitioning into APC, though he was also a member of SDP, the one that Rufai has moved to. But Nigerians, the politicians, do not have any ideology. How many political parties in Nigeria really have ideology? How many of them can we really speak and beat our chests and say, this person, this political party is the best? What is APC ideology? What is PDP ideology? What is Labour Party ideology? Almost all the elected member on the platform of LP are now in APC. So that is a shocking reality of our political party. It is very possible for them because the political party is a very open market for anybody to really visit and cash out. And so while we are dealing with that, we need to really deal with our political structure. This is actually beyond every final. There's something wrong, fundamentally wrong, with our political system, where a man is elected and become the leader of the party, serving in the capacity of the chairman of the party, dictating what the future of the party. Something is wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong.
I would definitely come back to you and we'll talk extensively rather when it comes to party ideology, party supremacy. But let me fall back to my guest who is back now, Mr. Ife. So let's get your thoughts as regards his political capital.
Yes, apologies for that. So I was saying that it is common of our politicians to cross carpet from one party to the other. Even in person of the presidents, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we can say that, oh, some people say he's been consistent, just like my brother in the studio said. But I mean, if you have to look at it in clean and clear perspective, you will see that he was one of the founding members of the SDP. He was very rooted in the SDP. He moved from the SDP to AD. From AD, he left AD for AC. For AC, he left AC for ACN. He left ACN and then went to align with Buhari's CPC and became APC that we have today. So if you check this, or even if all of these parties seem to be like they seem to lean in the same direction, but they are different parties. All these parties are still existing even as we are talking right now. The AD, the AC, the ACN, and except for recently when INEC scrapped a number of parties and then left them to 18. The ones that survived amongst those parties are still there today. What am I saying? It is common of our politicians to move from one party to the other. And this is so because the laws, our laws guiding our electoral process has made it open. There is a lacuna that has given them the opportunity to just move at will. Take, for instance, the drama that is happening in Rivers State right now. A joint member of the House of Assembly, on the floor of the House of Assembly, declared that they are leaving the PDP for APC. They read their letter on the floor. They waved the flag, in front of the assembly. They chanted APC and they left. Now, what have we seen at the court? The court is saying that there are no evidences that these people left the PDP for APC. So, in essence, it comes back to the same point where there are no guiding rules. There are no because I'm a typical Yoruba man, and I lean towards my heritage and my culture. Yoruba says that ìlú tí ò bá sófin kò ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀, i.e., where there are no rules, nobody is going to be found wanting of anything. So if there are rules that are saying that if you contest under a party and you win an election under that party, you until you are done with the tenure, because as it is right now today, we don't have independent candidacy. We have candidates that are run under the umbrella of a party. So if I believe in this party, as much as we claim that, oh, there are no political ideologies in parties, well, it may be relatively true, but the point is that these different parties in Nigeria as of today, they have their inclination. There is a
I guess we lost him there, but of course we're going to connect him in the course of time. So he was talking about the fact that you might relatively say there are no ideology when it comes to party affiliation, looking at it from the politicians themselves. But he said something very crucial. He said, where there is no rule, there seems not to be accountability. So no one is held responsible if the person decides to crisscross or cross carpet, as the case may be. Now, I was going to talk about his reason for defecting. He made a very crucial point that the APC has derailed from its progressive ideals. What do you think are some of those progressive ideals specifically?
Yeah, one thing, one campaign, APC Hinjom, during 2014, the presidential campaign, was boosting the economy of Nigeria. And another thing is the price of our currency. Our currency was a major campaign topic that the APC hammer on, that $1 is going to become €1. So, and again, the corruption also. APC was big on saying if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. But has that actually been the case so far? As the APC fought corruption, is it the APC fighting corruption at this moment? I'm disappointed. The fact is that the APC is actually not fighting corruption. And we're talking about the former CBN governor. Let the current CBN governor leave and let somebody probe. You will see that it is very clear that the APC is not fighting corruption. And that is the ideology I think Rufai was talking about. So if you are coming before the temple, you must come with clean hand. Just like the man in charge of the ethics that was probing Natasha. We saw what happened now. It was the bad. We read it. So you coming before the temple and with clean hand. So what are the ideology? And Rufai was talking about. These are the campaign promises that was made to Nigeria by the APC. Has any of them been implemented? The answer, I think, is no. None of those things have been implemented. The corruption is still rising. The APC as a party is still not accountable to the people. How do you want to get rid? How do you campaign to get rid of APC of PDP? We're ruling for 16 years, and you're doing far worse than the PDP. How do you explain that? How do you tell the people before? How do you even stand before God and explain to God that this was what I promised, but I'm currently doing worse, or our party is doing worse? Okay, the APC has not met for a very long time. After Rufai interviewed the other time, the president called APC caucus and I don't know, met for jamboree meeting. I don't know the effectiveness. I don't know the essence of that meeting with APC caucus that time. And that was one of the complaint of Rufai. After the election, what has happened? How many times should political party meet to deliberate and to elect officials? We still have Ganduje. There are so many court cases. Was Ganduje really duly elected? Should Ganduje remain in the office? If Ganduje should remain in the office, should be the party coming together and say, yes, let us ratify, let us give our vote of confidence. Not one person sitting at the corner of his house and say, yes, I still have confidence in the leadership of Abdullahi Ganduje. I still have I still have what do you call it, confidence in the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So look at what happened the other time in South Africa. The former Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma was sacked by his own political party.
Okay, so you've given us, 3 bullet points that we're going to talk about. You talked about APC being big, especially when they came into emergence. They were being big on corruption, fighting corruption. They were being big on building the value of the naira. They were also big on building the economy, which you think El Rufai was alluding to. Now, let me fall back to my guest, Mr. Ife. Mr. Ife, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I believe you listened attentively to what Mr. Eniola said about what Malam El Rufai was alluding to. So what's your take on that when it comes to the campaign promises that the APC had at the time that they had derailed away from?
Well, I'm not a. I will put this disclaimer out there so that I will not be misunderstood. I am not a fan of Malam El Rufai in any way. I don't believe in his ideology and principle. I don't believe in his political approach. But you see, there is what is called good and bad. Whatever is good is good. Whatever is bad is bad. Just like my friend in the studio has said, APC has failed in all fronts. They have disappointed Nigeria on their campaign promises. They have not fulfilled any of their campaign promises, not on infrastructure, not on security, not on the economy, not on education, not on health, nothing. They have not fulfilled any of this. And if you are a member of this kind of organization, of this kind of body, who came with a whole lot of hope and a mantra of change to the people to say we want to make things better. And if you are one of the people who brought this upon Nigeria, I think it is right for everybody who was part of the APC in 2015 to do what Malam El Rufai did. Again, I do not like Malam in person, but I am saying clearly that what he did is the right thing. APC has failed Nigeria. APC has refused to fulfill their promises to Nigeria. As a matter of fact, like I have said before in the past, it is also a case of going to the shrine to seek help. Again, Yoruba will say, Oshabo legbemi, shemi bo shebami, meaning that if I come to the shrine to come and meet the oracle, if the oracle cannot help me or make my life better, then just leave my life the way it was before. But what the APC has done as the custodian of our commonwealth is that they have just squandered our commonwealth, and they have made our lives as Nigerians, as citizens, they've made our life worse than the way it was before. There are more people that have gone into the poverty line than we had when they were there when PDP was there in 2015. There are more people that have lost their jobs. As a matter of fact, there are like over 1,000 SMEs that have closed in the last 1 to 2 years under this administration. There are over 700 international organizations that have left Nigeria and have or closed down, in the last 1 year or 2 years under this administration. So it means that in all fronts, the APC have failed. And for any right-thinking person, just like Malam El Rufai, they should know that it is time for them to dump this, organization that has failed Nigeria and move on. leave them behind, because apparently the president is not going to leave his party while he's the president. So he's still going to be there, and he would want to come back again to contest under the same party. So if you know that you have conscience, you should leave APC and do what Malam El-Rufai has done.
Why talking about the fact that his ideals are realistic, given the indices that you have railed out? Now, let's still stay on his political capital a little bit, because just immediately he tendered his resignation came with a reaction from the APC chapter in Kaduna State, stating that his departure is of no consequence to the party. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, Malam El-Rufai is a big shot in the political sphere of Nigeria. Um, you would not expect anything less of that from the APC in Kaduna, because they would feel really hurt by his departure. I mean, this is someone that is been the governor, of Kaduna for like 8 years or so, and then he has also been the one that has championed the APC campaign across Nigeria. Malam El-Rufai led the Muslim tickets campaign across Nigeria. He was the one who sold that ticket to the north, in 2023, telling them that it is time for them to have a Muslim ticket. He even went, as far as denigrating Christians on behalf of the APC. He said a lot of, denigrating things, so many condescending statements, about Christians and Christianity, all because he wanted the Muslims to buy into the Muslim tickets, in the north. So someone who did not only do this, he also followed the president to the Chatham House in London, and he took, some of the questions on behalf of the president, answering questions, on behalf of, the president in the Chatham House. He's a very brilliant person. He's well read. He's, politically grounded. So the APC will feel sore for him to leave the party. And of course, they would not say less. They would try to play down his political relevance in the party. But
we're pressed for time. We're pressed for time, but your point has been well taken. Let me fall back to my guest right here, Mr. Eniola, in response to your question, because you said he's quite a big shot. Now, how big is El-Rufai a shot? Given the fact that a former senator in the presidency of Shehu Sani said that under the watch of Nasser El-Rufai as a governor in 2015, APC had 2 senators. By 2023, all the senatorial zones were taken away by PDP. That's one. Number 2, out of 14 House of Representatives seats in Kaduna State, by the time he left office as a governor, almost all the seats were won by the APC. That's 2. 3, 2 by Labour Party and the other by the APC. And finally, as a governor, the APC could not even win Kaduna State under the presidential election. So, how big, my question, is Nasser El-Rufai as a governor?
Well, El-Rufai is as big as Elephant.
In spite of all of these losses?
In spite of that, do you want to blame the APC loss in Kaduna on El-Rufai? Not. I think
do you understand what it means to be the governor of a state?
And I quite understand.
And yet you have these losses.
I quite understand. But one thing is that let us put the blame on Muhammadu Buhari.
Is he the governor of the state?
No, it wasn't. But he was the president of Nigeria then. During that, when the election was said, Buhari was the president of Nigeria. And Buhari took Nigeria 50 years backward, even more. So, and we still know that the center still control everything now, up to Nigeria. With the kind of system we operate, the center control everything, and whatever the poor leadership, Muhammadu Buhari offered also affected the party performance in Kaduna State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eniola Daniel. social affairs commentator. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, our guest joining us virtually, Mr. Ife Salako, a social affairs commentator. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. All right, that's our offering for you today. We duly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Joshua Okata. The program is not over yet, as we'll be handing you to our Benin Network studios for the rest of the program.